Well, police in Nashville, Tennessee say they believe an explosion which rocked the downtown area was an intentional act. At least 3 people were injured and there was widespread damage after a motorhome exploded in the early hours of Christmas morning. Police in Nashville say investigators are looking into possible human remains found near the site of the blast.
This aerial footage shows the extent of the damage from the explosion. The force of the blast from the recreational vehicle smashed windows and sent debris flying. Luckily, due to the early hour of the day, the streets of central Nashville were largely empty when the explosion happened. Police had already arrived on the scene after receiving a phone call reporting gunshots in the area.
As officers responded, they encountered an RV that had a recording saying that a potential bomb would detonate within 15 minutes. Officers, upon hearing that, decided to evacuate the buildings nearby.
One woman tells of the chilling automated message that spurred her narrow escape.
It started on a countdown where it said, "This vehicle will explode in 15 minutes. And then in 14 minutes. And then, we started really gathering our things up. I got my cat in her carrier. I got my son who was staying in another apartment that was also overlooking 2nd Avenue. And we were all very concerned about all this. And then my 85-year-old sister was staying in another apartment that was on the other side of the building, on the back side overlooking the river. And so we all went down, got in the car, and left.
Investigators are now looking into the possible motive behind the explosion.
I think people will view that it was not an accident, and from that, but it'll take a little bit of time to get to the bottom of it. And I do think it was clearly done when nobody was going to be around. It would be a different message if it was, 5 p.m. on a Friday.
Downtown Nashville was sealed off, and the FBI have appealed to the public for any relevant information.
Please tell us what you know. We need your leads, we need your help.
President Donald Trump has been briefed on the matter.
Let's get more from Nashville, where Mike Saliba can tell us more about what's been going on. Authorities are saying that the blast appears to be intentional. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, it's been a long day here in Nashville. Around 5:30 a.m., so just under 12 hours ago, there was a 911 call reporting shots fired in the area just in downtown Nashville off of 2nd Avenue. On that scene, when some police arrived on the scene, there wasn't any evidence of shots fired in the immediate area, but authorities were led to a suspicious recreational vehicle parked on the street. And the circumstances regarding the cryptic messages that were blasted from the RV led officers to call in units of the Nashville Police, Fire, Bomb Squad, Hazardous Materials units. Police did a sweep of the area, and on the way there, realized that this message that was coming from, this dire warning that was coming from the RV was saying, "Evacuate now. There is a bomb in this vehicle, and it will explode." It gave a countdown at 15 minutes. Sure, go ahead.
So I was going to say, can you just describe for us first the area where this blast actually took place? What is it like?
Sure, it's largely an entertainment district. There are it's a lot of historic buildings there, but also mostly restaurants, entertainment venues for country music, but not a ton of residential area. Residents there. It's largely just a district. So 6:30 a.m. on Christmas morning, it's cold outside. There weren't a lot of people on the street.
Right. And do we know if any of these businesses in the area had received any threats in recent days or weeks?
Authorities are saying that there was no credible threats signaling any kind of impending attack before Christmas. So we have no information on that.
Right. And the possibility of further attacks, have authorities said anything on that matter?
Well, today, throughout the day, they've been scouring the area, trying to locate, any other secondary devices, incendiary devices. I don't want to say it's an all clear, but it is one of those things that I think they've alleviated the possibility of a secondary attack, but we never know at this point.
And as we've mentioned, this, of course, happened early on Christmas morning during the middle of a pandemic. What has that meant for efforts to care for the people who've been affected by this blast?
Well, it's a lot of the people that are there have been evacuated or are in lockdown in that area. Downtown Nashville is in a state of lockdown. One thing about the blast as well was that it was directly across from an AT&T data center, which leads to a bit of suspicion. So our phones are pretty much out of order right now in terms of data and Wi-Fi connectivity.
So this has actually had an impact on the infrastructure in Nashville. Have police said anything about whether this AT&T building was in fact the target of the blast?
It's not known at this point. It's not been confirmed at this point, but speculation does leave us to kind of think that. I will say also that the Nashville airport is currently shut down due to the data.
All right, so it's had far-reaching impacts beyond just that downtown area. Mike Saliba in Nashville, Tennessee, thank you very much.
Thank you.